everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
What's up, everybody? Live from the capital city. Halftime. Phil Elson here. I'm in the capital city. Matty T and
you're in Washington, D.C.?
That would be the capital city of the state of Arkansas.
Oh, well, you got to clarify, Phil. You just say the capital city, I think of D.C., so...
I would have thought, if I was in D.C., I think I would have said our nation's capital.
Ah.
I would have been standing when I said it, too.
That's true. That's true. Nation's got that does separate it. And anyone with normal common sense would have... anyone with normal common sense would have realized that you were in Little Rock and not D.C., but, silly old me.
Well, I guess, there are two different capitals for us. That's exactly right. So, I can clarify by saying our lovely state's capital, Little Rock. We'll be going over the river for a baseball game tonight. Can I just say also, at 1 minute into the show, you guys need to be thanking me.
Well, thank you.
The studio and everybody else over our network on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. Let's go ahead and say, Drew just said it. Maddie, go ahead.
Oh, what happened? Oh, thank you, Phil.
Thank you for something.
Because Phil ate beans for breakfast.
No, that's not. That has nothing to do with it. No, it was actually just a chicken. I decided not to ask to do the radio show at Dickey Stevens Park today because they have a Screaming Kids Day game.
Well, that's smart.
Yes. So I really I've been to so many Screaming Kids Day baseball games and basketball games now too, because every women's basketball season for the Hogs opens up with a Friday morning game. So I'm used to the
Screaming Kids is what it is.
And the screaming and all of that. But I don't think I've ever done hosted a radio show at the same time while that's going on. And doing a play-by-play broadcast of the game that the kids are quasi-watching is one thing. When you're trying to focus on a conversation you're having with somebody and with potential callers and texters and co-hosts and Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation, who joined us at the bottom of the hour, and Courtney Deifel, Arkansas head softball coach, joining us at 12:30. It didn't need all of the white noise in the background, which wouldn't have been white noise because that's the kind of thing that you just sort of drown out. There's no way to drown out screaming kids.
No, there isn't.
They have over there tonight or today. But it's got to be somewhere between 6,000 to 10,000.
If it's more than 5, then it's too many for me. I think that's just too loud. And I remember producing Redbirds games during Screaming Kids days, and it was hard to adjust levels. I mean, I couldn't tell Steve to turn his mic up any louder because it would just draw in the noise, the outdoor noise, to where I'm pretty sure Steve Selby, the longtime voice of the Memphis Redbirds, no longer now retired. He didn't even use an outdoor mic for those games, and you could still hear it so loudly. It was almost like the kids were screaming right behind him, and he was in the press box. Those games are annoying to listen to.
Well, sometimes they are screaming behind you because there might not be enough seats for all the kids. Well, at the old ballpark in Little Rock, they were behind us because our press box was hung from the front of the roof right there behind home plate, so all the fans were pretty much behind you. And yeah, there was no need to have a microphone dangling that day. It's going to be a crazy day for the people who run Dickey Stevens Park. I mean, you've got the on average, the biggest crowd they have every year is the Razorback game. It's bigger than any crowd that the Travelers will usually draw, and that counts.
Even firework nights, 4th of July.
Absolutely. It's pretty rare that they'll get 10,000. 9,000 to 10,000 people for the Travelers game. It's happened sometimes. When the ballpark opens, big celebration kind of thing. Every once in a while,
big prospect.
They need to have a clunker car night.
Yeah, and even the novelty of that wore off a long time ago. So, yeah, it doesn't get that, because this is the biggest event that Dickey-Stevens Park will hold all year long.
I saw, real quick, I know that you going, but I saw a tiki-taki yesterday about minor league baseball and their promotions, and this guy he's so excited, he's moving up from single A to double A, and instead of a uniform, they hand him like a riot gear. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's Tuesday. We pay the fans to drink. So it gets a little crazy. You know, whatever we can do to get butts in the seats, and just kind of making fun of the promos there. Like, I'd definitely go if they pay me to drink.
It's a little different than your usual dizzy bat race.
Yeah.
That everybody's done for years. Yeah, we'll pay you to drink. That's a nice one. I don't think we'll be doing that at the Razorback game tonight. But, I mean, the folks who run that stadium, I mean, every kid, if they still do this the same way, like every kid that comes in is supposed to get a free hot dog. It's sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the hot dogs are already paid.
Of course.
So the people, I mean, like from the general manager all the way down to like the last intern, are rolling hot dog after hot dog after hot dog starting at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, I don't know if that's the same right now at you know, the way that they have the franchise structured, because I haven't worked there in 7 years. But back at the old park, I was like the only person that didn't have to wake up and roll hot dogs at 4 o'clock in the morning. Because I told him, I said, look, I'm not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing a 10:30 baseball broadcast by myself. It's not working that way. So that was the one time I had to put my foot down and said, yeah, I'm broadcaster. I'm not hot dog roller. So they rolled the 10,000 hot dogs starting at 4 o'clock in the morning. And now
is that your best "Do you know who I am" story of putting your foot down? Do you know who I am? Phil Elson does not roll hot dogs, sir.
I think it was more of an acquiescence to the idea that they didn't want to hire a new broadcaster next season. But you know, but now they get this morning game that just started right now. And then you got to clean the thing up. You got to clean the stadium. And imagine what it's like to clean up after 6,500, 8,000 school children. With their, like, you're going to count on the teachers to make sure that they don't mess everything up and create a giant disgusting mess all around them. No, this is the teachers' chance to sort of at least enjoy themselves outdoors. And sure, they've got a chaperone and all that, but
their job is to make sure that they come back with the same amount of kids that they left with.
So who makes the bigger mess? Who makes the bigger mess? A minor league game that might be 2/3 full with kids that are out of school for the day, or a 100%, because the stadium is sold out for today, a 100% sold out, rabid Razorback crowd, most of them from Central Arkansas, many of them that don't get a chance to go up to Northwest Arkansas on a week-by-week basis and watch this team. So this is, you know, one of their rare opportunities to watch this baseball team up close. And hey, this is a big Razorback baseball town too. You know, we think of Little Rock is big on football, is big on basketball too. It's a big Razorback baseball town now, and this is the one time a year that they get a chance to lay eyes on this. So who creates the bigger mess?
I'm gonna go with kids. You know, actually, I want to go with kids because they're known to be messy, but depending on the chaperones, teachers, and how well they pay attention, I know if my missus, who's a kindergarten teacher, was chaperoning an event like this, she is so OCD and so clean thinking that she would make sure her kids picked up everything.
She would need to take the day off.
Yes, but, and then on the flip side of that, I know some really disgusting adults. Some people that throw cups, things down, and you ask, like, why are you littering? And they go, oh, that's somebody else's job. Who am I to do? And the worst person is that says, that's somebody else's job. Who am I to deprive them of their livelihood? Like, dude, that is just, like, those people make me sick. And just the people that will walk by the trash can and just drop it to the side of it. It's like, somebody else will get it. So it can be a little 50-50. I'm still leaning kids, because that's a lot of kids. But I'm not going to say the adults are too far off, because there are a lot of, oh, that's somebody else's job people.
Well, guys, I tell you what, because I'm going to get over there by about, I don't know, like 3 or 3:30. By that point, the dumpsters will be full, whatever the kids left behind, so I'll report back to you.
Please do.
What happens. The other question that I've got for this game today is, do you realize that Arkansas, you could potentially be playing UCA in a regional? UCA has an 18-20 record overall, but They're tied for first place in their division in the Atlantic Sun, and they've won 6 consecutive series in that league. And somebody out of the A-Sun is making the NCAA baseball tournament, and there's a darn good chance that if Arkansas is hosting, that you could get UCA coming up to Fayetteville. I think there's a legitimate chance of this happening. I'm not making any prediction that UCA is going to be A-Sun champion and make your plans for this, but like out of all of the non-conference teams, certainly out of the Arkansas in-state teams, this is probably the best opportunity to see a team that you might be playing in a regional. Like, this could legitimately be a 1-4 game in Paul Walker Stadium, as long as you're still a national seed, and as you know, and UCA's got to pick up their end of the bargain. And I saw in a couple of the rankings, like Arkansas did fall rather they fell pretty heavily. In Baseball America's rankings fell from 4 to 10, you know, and these rankings, you know, I just look at them to get a sense of what the experts, or, you know, the supposed national experts are thinking about this team. A drop to 10 means, in their eyes right now, you're not one of those top 8 national seeds, which means you very well could end up going on the road for a super regional. Now, I still believe that if you win the East or the West in the Southeastern Conference, then you deserve a national seed. That's how good this conference usually is. This might be a year where the SEC isn't viewed that way. So it's just, you know,
and
Baseball America's.
Is it all Ole Miss and State's fault though? Because they're dragging down the overall view, because they are normally looked at as upper echelon programs in the SEC. So when they're not doing as well, everybody just kind of looks at it and goes, off year.
Well, I don't know if I would lay it just on those two teams, but there's no doubt there's a feeling that the teams that there's one really great team right now in Tennessee, one team that's really good, that's bordering on great, and hopefully we'll get to that point in Arkansas, and then there's a bunch of other teams right now with Arkansas. I mean, the Razorbacks 12-6. They're just a game ahead in the West. They're only a game ahead of Georgia in the overall standings. So I mean, they're not that far off from you know, LSU, from A&M in the standings. You got a mishmash of not mediocrity, but just overall, you know, very goodness in the SEC. And very goodness isn't the kind of thing that gets you to be a top 8 national seed. Those are the teams that are viewed as the great teams, you know, in the regular season. But I still feel like if you win the West Division, you are a national seed. And, you know, the next 12 games, obviously, once you get this one taken care of and you get past Missouri State, then you're all in the league games, and that's it. But these are the ones that are going to decide where you're playing, you know, in potentially in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. And the other thing I've felt before is you win a division, you don't necessarily have to do anything in Hoover to, like, cement your spot. This might be a year where that's a little bit different. Maybe a couple wins in Hoover cements things in the committee's eyes. Then again, I mean, I've always thought about the basketball tournament. You don't make your resume in the conference tournament. I have seen before where it felt like Arkansas kind of solidified their spot, making it into the tournament with a nice little run in Hoover, thinking 2015. But I'm not sure if that cements any look at, like, a national seed unless you win the conference tournament. Anyway, so, I mean, there's lots to get to as far as that's concerned. Our question would also be, who the heck is hitting for the cycle tonight? Because in both times that Arkansas has played UCA, someone's hit for the cycle. That's quite a percentage of game to cycle ratio. So we've got Alyssa Orange and we've got Courtney Deifel joining us here on Halftime today. And you can be a part of it as well by calling us or texting us at 877-377-6963. Hogs got a big quarterback commit for the 2023 class, and we'll dip into that right after this.
Ooh, and I can feel it, way down where the music plays, way down like a tidal wave, way down where the fire plays, way down.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
I love
Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, college at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
Business is back, and your locally owned TGI Fridays is now hiring for multiple positions. For over 26 years, TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has been locally owned and a fun place to work, and we want you to come be a part of our family. Apply in person or message us online on our TGI Fridays Fort Smith Facebook page. If you've been out of work and are needing a job, or you're just looking for a career change, we have multiple positions available in the front and back of the house, and we want to welcome you to our family at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Is this the right decision? Living with an aging parent can bring stress, uncertainty, and guilt. Ease those emotions and trust that they are safe and happy at Dalton's Place at Waldron. Living in this community improves the health, nutrition, and housing for your loved one, regardless of income. Private apartments allow your mom or dad to keep their independence while their health is always monitored. Contact us today to see if your loved one qualifies. Dalton's Place at Waldron, 520 West 2nd Street. Your well-being first.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I'm on my way from misery to happiness today. I'm on my way from misery to happiness today. I'm on my way to what I want from this world.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Oh, it could very well be your taste buds' favorite day of the week, Tuesdays. And at Joe's Grill and Cantina, Tuesday is a very special because it's Taco Tuesday.
It's
every
Taco
Tuesday.
Tuesday!
Dollar crispy tacos all day long at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. $2.25 for pork carnated tacos. You can get brisket or pork belly tacos for $3.25 and just 75 cents for your sides. Get your Bud Light draft, just $2.25 as well, all day long. Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. I would tell you that they have the Arkansas baseball game on TV tonight, but they don't because it's not on television. You've got to listen to this radio station.
Is anything televised in North Little Rock, or is it just like a dead zone? Do they have TV in North Little Rock?
Yeah, this is a TV-free city, at least when it comes to the Razorbacks. That's not true. That's not true because the UAPB game, the UAPB football game was on. I think that was on SEC Plus.
Yes, it was.
So at least it's not a streaming free zone.
Oh, okay.
But we can't.
Couldn't get basketball.
Really televised.
Can't get baseball. I think softball. I think softball is playing at. No, that's Conway. They'll be playing UCA this week, and it'll be on SEC Plus. So.
That's today, actually.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with Courtney Deifel about that, a 6 o'clock game at Bogle.
So I guess I'll watch that, and I'll listen to you.
So let's put it this way. All right, so I would imagine, there will be a Razorback game televised at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith, but it won't be the baseball game. It will be the softball game. That means half-price apps and taps at Joe's Grilling Cantina during the game. They've got it on the TVs. And thank you very much, Maddie. joesfortsmith.com. You download the Waiter app to order or just give them a visit across from the Harps. And I don't know why nothing is televised here in Little Rock. I know the reason why Dickie Stevens doesn't have any games televised anymore, and that's because there is no more Cox Sports Television.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't exist any longer.
Well, do they televise stuff like on their website or?
The Travelers do,
yeah.
Sure. I mean, they televise. They quote unquote televise their games with quite an antiquated, hand-operated, like remote control camera system that looks like your doorbell camera is of higher quality.
Yeah.
The stuff that they use there. I know they've got to change that up with the major leagues taking over and mandating that every minor league team has really good cameras so that the scouts don't have to travel as much anymore. I think that's kind of partially what that's about. All right, Malachi Singleton is going to be an Arkansas Razorback. I think you guys have him on the morning rush tomorrow, right?
That we do, yeah. I'm not sure what time he'll be on tomorrow, but he'll join Ty, myself, and Clay at some point tomorrow to talk about his decision and why he chose Arkansas in a little bit more detail than what he did yesterday during his announcement. And it was a very eventful announcement. I think that not only from what he said about the Arkansas program, but I think his dad became a fan favorite within a matter of seconds of throwing the horns down as soon as his son announces he's chosen to go to the University of Arkansas.
Texas wasn't even
they
Texas
weren't even on the list.
On his list. He's from nowhere near Texas, but that is one way to ingratiate yourself to Razorback fans. And I also thought about this the other day in College Station. I went to one of the Aggie Outfitter stores to get a little A&M thing, and on all of the parking spots, like all of the little concrete blocks there at the front of your parking spot, they had a horns down. Part of the logo of Aggie Outfitters is a horns down, and I'm thinking we make fun of A&M all the time, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Normally it is, but
not when they're in the same division.
Not when they're also an enemy, yes.
Yeah, they're a real enemy, but at least we can agree on who to hate the most. Well, yeah, that would ingratiate himself to Razorback fans, but also just picking Arkansas usually is enough when you're on a list of like Georgia, Miami, and UCF. So, when I think about this, Malachi Singleton chose Kendall Briles over Gus Malzahn, over Josh Gaddis, and over the defending national champions. I don't know who Georgia's, also targeted or has committed as far as quarterbacks are concerned. 23, but there's been such a revolving door of quarterbacks going in and out of that program for a long time. It's like that's a stable program, but the position isn't always the most stable as far as talented kids coming in, not getting a chance, figuring they're going to go get a look somewhere else.
It's the Ohio State of the SEC, because Ohio State has had plenty of those examples when you talk about Justin Fields was at Georgia. You had Joe Burrow at Ohio State.
Yeah, Tate Martell, Mr. Transfer.
Yes.
I mean,
You had the guy that's going to play at Texas. Was at Ohio State.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers. That's
Quinn
right.
Ewers. They both have those things where now Ohio State has had a little bit more talented guys on the field than I think you would say of Stetson Bitten, but so much talent and they're still winning. So I mean, apparently, it's really not that upsetting to lose one 5-star when you got 4 behind him.
Yeah, but when you read about his traits, and I haven't watched highlights of Malachi Singleton yet. I'll get in on that in sometime in the near future. But 6'1", 230 pounds as a high schooler, the kid's already a tank. And he's obviously, most any quarterback Arkansas is going to be looking at as a dual threat. But this, doesn't quite have the height of a KJ Jefferson. And I can never feel like I trust the numbers as far as accuracy are concerned coming out of high school, because Malik Hornsby had great numbers accuracy-wise coming out of high school, but it hasn't looked like the most accurate quarterback when he's been at Arkansas. So the question here would be, like, if Hornsby really takes to playing wide receiver at times this year, is Malachi Singleton going to be the starting quarterback for Arkansas
as a true freshman?
Because KJ's gone after this year. Like, he's going to the NFL. You've got a spot. You've got a year there where I'm not sure how confident you feel about Malik Hornsby as a quarterback moving forward. Maybe you got to get a transfer in here or something, because Singleton might need that 1 year to sit and wait. But everything you read about him, he looks like he could really fit into everything that KJ Jefferson does right now.
Oh, he definitely does. I mean, just watching some of his highlights last night and this morning, and even Singleton put up a video after he committed of basically him and KJ different highlights of the two, kind of mixing them in, kind of showing Arkansas fans what he expects to give them. I don't know if you can. It's really hard to trust a true freshman. It's really hard to put all of your eggs in that basket. Now, I think if you had injuries and other things, there's a lot worse players to kind of have to lean on to learn on the fly than Singleton, from what we know of him now. I mean, obviously we're going to know a lot more through his senior year, and then once he gets onto campus, either in January or, in the summer of 2023. So it's just, you still feel like you might need to bring in that grad transfer for that 1 year to kind of give that cushion of a year to kind of separate you from KJ, and then fully start with Malachi Singleton. Or, we don't know who else is going to be coming in. And heck, we don't know what Malik Hornsby is going to do. Who knows? Malik Hornsby could just come out of nowhere, shock us all, and truly be a real deal D1 quarterback.
Well, that's the pecking order right now, but we'll see what happens once Malik starts throwing the ball this upcoming season, because there's going to be plays where he throws.
Yes.
And there's going to be many more where he's targeted with a KJ Jefferson pass. All right, we'll step aside for the break, and we're joined by Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange on Halftime next.
I get all choked up inside when I call your name.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cash Back Match. Now to recap and say cash back one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Save thousands during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 350 new and pre-owned vehicles were damaged during the recent storm, and now over $1 million in discounts will be passed on to Harry Robinson's customers. Some of the damage is really minor, but the savings are severe. Plus, there are still lots of vehicles that were not damaged in stock. Save thousands on your next vehicle during the storm damage sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
The 34th Annual Greenwood Open Car Show returns to Square Greenwood Saturday, April 30th from 8 a.m. to 3 o'clock. This is a Circle of Champions show. Over 100 awards and door prizes will be given away. Entry forms online at greenwoodarcarshow.com and Facebook. Or register day of show from 8 to 11 at Greenwood Chamber of Commerce. Rain or shine, don't miss the 34th Annual Greenwood Open Car Show Saturday, April 30th from 8 to 3 on the Square in Greenwood. Free admission for spectators. Bring the whole family.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has two locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and Eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. On 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Time for Tuesday's segment with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation. Always appreciate some of her time and out. I think Alyssa might be in the car right now, headed down from Fayetteville to North Little Rock for today's I was about to say Travs game since it's Dickie Stevens Park, and for some reason that was stuck in my head, even though it's been 8 years. Are you in the car, Alyssa?
I just actually got out of the car. I have arrived at Casa de la DJ Williams, where we're staying tonight in Little Rock, and getting ready to get things going for the game. But I did just get out of the car about 5 minutes ago, so you're close.
No Airbnb, no hotel. It's everybody crashes at DJ's place?
DJ is our Airbnb. If we stayed in a hotel or in an Airbnb and not at DJ's house, he would be so sad. He loves entertaining and hosting. He is a great host.
Well, that's outstanding. All right. So, I mean, this is going to be fun tonight. I mean, and The football game that Arkansas plays here, not even semi-annually now, is the thing that draws not controversy, but it's the thing that draws arguments. None of this stuff ever happens with basketball and with baseball. These are just big events, and they're always sellouts, and it's a different crowd than we're used to.
Yeah. It really is. I was looking because Dave Van Horn was talking about the crowds in Little Rock in a soundbite we're going to run later today on our shows, but I went back and I pulled the last time they were here, which was 2019 against Grambling, and looked at some of these crowd shots, and I just went, oh my gosh, that's right. It was packed. It was packed with people. People love coming to baseball games. It's going to be beautiful baseball weather, but you're absolutely right. Like, this is just an opportunity to see Arkansas play, a top 10 team right now in the country, and these Central Arkansas fans deserve to see these teams once a year, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and it's cool that they're playing an in-state school here. I mean, they've never played against an in-state school in Dickey-Stevens Park, which is closer to UCA, of course, than it is to anything in Northwest Arkansas. And, I mean, we kind of laugh a little bit because Arkansas has just blown everybody out that they've played out of conference, including 21-9 over UCA, and somebody will hit for the cycle, of course. UCA's won 6 straight ASUN series, Alyssa. Like, this legitimately could be a team that you have to face in a Fayetteville Regional.
Sure, absolutely. And I was actually going to ask you, Phil, you think we could go 3 for 3 and have someone else hit for the cycle tonight? That would be fun, possibly. But I think that, this might give it a little bit more excitement if UCA can make this a ball game. I think the only thing about these games in the past, outside of that Little Rock game they lost a couple of years ago, and the A-State games were a little competitive at times, is the competitive level of it. And you don't want it, if you're a Razorback fan, you don't want it to be too competitive, and you don't want to lose the game, but you don't want it to be a 21-9 game either. Maybe have some fun and make it like a 8-4 kind of game or something exciting. But I think you're right. I mean, Dave Van Horn even mentioned, it's hard to get my guys excited about games like this when you're in the middle of SEC play. You just lost to Texas A&M. You're about to host Ole Miss, and now we got to go play UCA on the road. But if this is a team that they could see in a regional come tournament time, DVH has got to be like, guys, you got to wake up. Like, this team is an NCAA tournament team, and we got to respect them just like we respect anybody in our conference. So hopefully we get a good matchup tonight.
Alyssa, obviously this game's not being televised due to the fact that it just seems to be in North Little Rock. You can't televise anything. I did see a number thrown out there that it would cost Arkansas $40,000 to broadcast this thing individually. Now, is that $40,000 if they wanted to broadcast one game, or would that be to fix all of the broadcasting issues in North Little Rock to where that if they played a basketball game there next year, that $40,000 would cover it? Or is it like $40,000 each time? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But I would assume it would be to have the setup so that it could regularly be televised. It would be $40,000 to do so. It doesn't take much these days to get a production going. Because of the accessibility that the SEC Network Plus and all of those streaming services have given. But it does cost money, obviously, to crew and man and get things like a lot of these places aren't wired, like technology-wise, to be able to do something like that. So that's where a lot of your money is. I mean, you forget in 2014 when the SEC Network launched, all these schools had to invest money to just be able to support technology to get these broadcasts done. And that takes some time. That takes a lot of engineers and wiring all of these arenas. And I think it would be a fantastic investment and obviously would pay off in the long term. But, then you might have to consider playing here more than once a year. And I don't know if Arkansas wants to do that. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the answer to your question.
All right. Well, you bring up the fact that, all these facilities had to be upgraded to be televised. And now, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are in the world with ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus, and so many other streaming services, you can watch pretty much any game that is being played. How much do you think that it's actually helped grow college athletics, having every single game broadcast?
I mean, I think it's grown tenfold. I don't necessarily think, like football, for example, football wasn't really impacted much. I mean, it's great to be able to see games, but football games were mostly on TV anyways. I think if you were to look at sports like baseball, like softball, women's basketball, soccer, those are the sports that are growing the most from the impact of these streaming services and being able to be a televised game, even if you do have to watch it on SEC Network Plus. Those eyeballs are making these sports more exciting. They're getting more attention. You're seeing clips on social media. Those are the sports that are being mostly impacted in a positive way in terms of growth, I think, since these things, these networks have launched, SEC Network in 2014 and what have you.
Mm-hmm. And you bring up softball as one of those sports that's been impacted, and it's definitely helped. I think the news of the day, the fact that softball is getting the team-wide NIL deal. For people that haven't seen it, I'm asking you because I know Pig Trail Nation was one of the first people to report about it on Twitter today. Kind of explain that to our listeners and how big of an actual deal it is.
I mean, look, just in terms of numbers, we have seen NIL deals for Devo Davis. We saw it yesterday with Bobby Bones, for example. We have seen NIL deals with Bumper Pool. We've seen NIL deals with Connor Nolan. We've seen NIL deals with, the O-line of the football team. But no one has had an NIL deal with an entire team. That's not just the starting lineup. That's not just, your pitching staff or your infield or your outfielders or Danielle Gibson. This is the entire team have the option. That they don't have to accept it. I don't know why you wouldn't. But an entire team has NIL deals now with Everett Buick GMC, and that's huge. And it speaks volumes that this is the first one, maybe I think in Division I softball, maybe in the country, that they have a NIL deal with an entire team, and it's a women's athletics. It's softball. It's huge for the sport. It's huge for NIL. And as a woman, it's just really exciting to see Arkansas softball get this recognition that they deserve. Because I'm sorry, they went on the road and just swept Florida and Gainesville, which is not easy to do. You ask anyone in the SEC, anyone in college softball who's gone to Gainesville and played the caliber of a program that Florida has, to be able to sweep them at home. You now lead the SEC in the standings at 14-4 in league play, and you're the number 5 team in the country. Quite frankly, they could easily be the number 2, 3, or 4 team, in my opinion, as well. It speaks volumes, and it's so cool. And this is what NIL is about. This is where you look and you say, okay, it's not just, hey, we're going to throw a bunch of money at the biggest recruit and get them to come to campus. This is saying we're rewarding athletes for their performances on the field with an NIL deal, and because they deserve it and they deserve the recognition. And I just think it's fantastic. And I was super pumped when I got that email today in my inbox.
We've got Coach Deifel on the show at 12:30 today, Alyssa, and I mean they're just such a great story, and there's too many to focus on, just at one time. We just look at the overall arc of the program under Coach Deifel, and how the transfers that have come in this year have solidified a team that already was really good. And I mean, they're, I'm connected to baseball so much, and so I focus on that. But there's no team on campus right now that is any hotter, and I'm talking about basketball, football, anything than Arkansas softball right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just unreal what Courtney Deifel has done and the staff has done and the talent that has come in. And when they were about to play Kentucky, she was joking because Kentucky is also a softball program that's been on the rise lately. And she joked and made a comment. She was like, I was Arkansas's default hire, too. And I kind of was like, I don't know what that means. But can you just imagine, like, joking that you were the default hire after Mike Larrabee was fired and you had to bring someone in to try to turn this program around. They won, I think, one SEC game when she first got here, her first year from Maryland, and what she's been able to do since she's been here in the last 7 years is just absolutely incredible. Because softball, if you follow it closely, is a sport where that kind of turnaround doesn't happen quickly. You have to build programs from the ground up. It's not like you get a star athlete here and there, and you happen to have a really good year like basketball. You have to be able to build this thing and build it the right way, and for her to do it as quickly as she has. I mean, I'm going to use my alma mater as an example, and I hope no one uses that against me. But Lonnie Alameda was at Florida State when I was in school from 2005 to 2009 when I was in college. She was there. Florida State is now a powerhouse in college softball. They won a national title a few years ago. They competed for a national title last year. It's taken her that long to get this team to where it is right now. Courtney Deifel has done it in about 6 years. It's incredible.
Really is, and we're looking forward to talking at 12:30 about their game against UCA tonight. And they've got a senior day on Sunday, and knowing how this team treats each other, Alyssa, I just don't. They need to have senior day like sponsored by Kleenex, because they're all about hugs. It's going to be like every senior day is emotional. I think it's going to be Niagara Falls on Sunday at Bogle.
Yeah. Oh, I no doubt. And that's going to be probably one of the most emotional events you'll ever go to if you end up going to softball this weekend. But tell Courtney I say hello. I mean, she's killing it right now. That's exciting. You guys have her on the show. I love what they do every time they break after a game. They say, "Give me 2 claps and a suey." Suey! I think it's so fun. So see if you can get Courtney Deifel to do that. 2 claps and a suey on the radio show today.
Well, you got to have a lot of spirit in that sport, no doubt. Alyssa, you got a lot of spirit, too. Appreciate you joining us, and I'll see you at
excited to see you later at the ballpark, Phil.
You got it. That's right. We're going on camera. This face for radio
Wow.
will go on camera with Alyssa for about 2 minutes or so.
Alyssa, don't make sure the camera doesn't break.
Oh, come on now.
I can just put a veil over me. It'll work just fine.
Alyssa, we have voices for radio. That's why we're in this business, okay?
Oh, people love Phil.
All the usual
I just
radio
give the
humor.
people what they want.
We'll have Alyssa on with us next Tuesday, as always. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation. Hey, make sure if you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member and you live in the Clarksville zone that covers areas south of, areas north and west of, Clarksville, Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, and the areas in between, you call for great, fast internet at Wave Rural Connect, $49.95 per month, 833-4WAVE-RC, or sign up .waveruralconnect.com. Halftime wrapping up the first hour next.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half-price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Extended. Breeden RV's tax time sale has extended until April 30th. That's right. We will pay up to $1,000 of your state sales tax on all new inventory from now until the end of April, and you will still get to take advantage of discounts up to $20,000 off new travel trailers and up to $30,000 off new fifth wheels. All come with Breeden RV's exclusive maintenance for life at no extra charge. We also want to buy your used RV, so come see us today at Breeden RV in Van Buren or BreedenRVs.com. While supplies last, see dealer for details.
Great people, great equipment, great opportunities. That is what you get at Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, Arkansas, with locations at Russellville and Van Buren, with regional OTR and local opportunities for qualified CDL drivers. Make up to $95,000 annually and be a part of a team that embraces the concept of family. Patriot Transport wants you to be successful on the road and at home, working with every driver to ensure they get the miles they want and the family time at home they strive for. Patriot Transport, more than trucking, it's family. Visit patriottransport.com to apply.
Who's ready to spring clean and save some green? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I'm on a mission to help you cash in when you clean out your garage. So stop making payments on a car you're not happy with, because right now you could clean up in a Rath Road Ready vehicle, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and possibly lower your monthly payment in the process. It's out with the old and in with the new, only during my Spring Clean and Save Some Green sales event. So dust off that old ride and trade up when you bring it in today and possibly lower your monthly payment in the process. Keeping the car you have? Keep it running this spring with a free inspection, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. But hurry, this deal's done once 86 people make a clean getaway in a nicer, newer car. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We get it almost every night.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Guys being dudes.
Upright, relaxed stance, tucks the left shoulder in as he cocks the bat over the right. The 1-1 ground ball. Base hit into right! 3,000 for Miguel Cabrera! Raises his arms. Iglesias the first to hug him. The Tigers dugout empties as they charge over to first base and let the hug dispensing begin.
Got to go with a radio call for moments like that. Dan Dickerson, longtime voice of the Tigers, calling over the weekend the 3,000th base hit by Miguel Cabrera, now one of 7 players ever with 500 home runs and 3,000 base hits. He happened to have 2 of them playing at the same time now, along with Albert Pujols. Guys, it's going to be a long time until we get another major leaguer with 3,000 base hits. Like, I have no clue who the next one's going to be, because outside of Pujols, who's the active leader, and then there's Cabrera, there's Robinson Cano with like 2,600 or so base hits, and then Nelson Cruz, who has less than 2,000.
How does Nelson Cruz have less than 2,000? He's been in the league since 1975.
Well,
it feels like, jeez.
My whole point, I don't know the next time you're going to have anybody reach 3,000 base hits. I mean, especially now that the game's going to change. The game's going to change sometime in the next few years. Tom Verducci wrote a really great piece on Sports Illustrated about and we've detailed a lot of this stuff already about the rules changes and stuff like that. The idea of putting the ball in play and not being afraid of hitting hard ground balls, although nobody's going to be trying to hit ground balls. They won't be they won't be as many outs on ground balls as there have been on a percentage-wide basis. The game will change, but under the current state, like, you wouldn't have anybody reach 3,000 base hits. You'd have a bunch of hitters reach like 3,000 strikeouts, not 3,000 hits. And the 500 home run club, you'd have to like raise you'd have to raise it to the 600 home run club to really mean
I was about to ask. Going forward from this point, and I'll even raise it even higher. Going forward from this point, do we have more 3,000 hit members or 700 home run members? I mean, 700 is a lot. I mean, Albert's getting close, but
under the current state of baseball, Drew, it'd be the 700 home runs.
I agree.
That's what they're looking to do. You know, I mean, 3,000 hits. That's why there's such a rare group of power hitters who also could reach base, with singles and doubles.
I mean, it's something special to be a part of the 500, 3,000.
500, 3,000 club. I was just trying to remember. I didn't look it up, and I wanted to see if Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, I think Rafael Palmeiro. Did A-Rod reach 3,000 base hits? Then there's Pujols.
Think so.
Then there's Miguel Cabrera. And the seventh one is going to be a problem. Like the last one's always the one that's the toughest to remember. But anyway, the whole point is that this is an incredibly rare feat. The 3,000 hits is a rare feat, but we're not going to see anybody get 500 hits and 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Maybe again in our lifetimes. It's just not the way the game is played much any longer. Tell you what is played any longer is the second hour of halftime. We'll have that coming up, and 877-377-6963 is the phone number.
Eddie Murray.
Calls and texts. Eddie Murray. There you go. There you go.
I had to look it up.
Switch hitter on that list. I think he's the only switch hitter on that list, too. Who is the greater of the switch hitters, Eddie Murray or Mickey Mantle? Oh, boy.
That's a discussion.
Grown men that will ready to fight anybody that says anybody outside of Mickey Mantle. Second hour right after this.
Community, where you create a home, you shop, you play, you cheer. At Wave Rural Connect, we live in the same community as you. You might see our employees in the grocery store, at the park, maybe the ball game. Wave Rural Connect is here to enable this community that we love with fast fiber internet, TV, and phone right here in your town, along with friendly local customer service. Go to waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out more. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online, randallford.com. Jeremy, no hail sale going on. Y'all didn't get any over here, man. It's crazy.
No hail over here on Rogers Avenue.
The best of the best tag with your used cars, and that is taken very seriously around here in the River Valley, and you guys won that last year, man.
You guys voted us as best of the best pre-owned dealer. That is a very big honor for us, and we want to continue to prove that we are the best of the best, and we prove that with great experience that we offer our customers.
It also helps when you guys have inventory. I know you got 6 cars in yesterday, over 180 on the lot. When people are looking, they're going to find it here at Randall Ford.
Absolutely, and we have something that fits every demographic, every budget. We have something for everybody. If you're looking for that cheap payment, we have it. If you're looking for that super high-end vehicle, we have it. We have a brand new Chevrolet Corvette here, so we have everything to fit anybody's budget.
You're going to find it all here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, online at randallford.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we have some sunny and cooler weather coming on in. Highs are ranging from the mid to upper 60s. Clear for the overnight hours and our low near 40. And gorgeous weather coming in for tomorrow. Lots of sun, the high low 70s. A bit of wet weather by tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hour number 2, halftime on a Tuesday. Phil Elson in Little Rock, Drew Barrett, Matty T at the ESPN Arkansas headquarters. 877-377-6963 to join us on halftime today. And we got a baseball game, got a softball game. You got the NFL draft on Thursday, beginning Thursday. Bo Marchant will join us Thursday.
Bo Marchant.
Marchant.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had him on the show before,
we have.
but I'm looking at his name here, and I can't remember how to say it.
And it also doesn't help that doesn't help that he's a scout for a Canadian Football League, to where you almost want to go full French with him.
That's a good point. We'll have to ask him how often his name is mispronounced when he's doing this in the States. Probably on a fairly routine basis. You got a home baseball series against Ole Miss this weekend. Softball taking on Carolina. Spring football is done. But you're getting in your quarterback recruits. And we got lots that we can get to. And so Charlie's first on hold with us today. 877-377-6963. Charlie, you get to kick this segment off today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, I would say sometimes we got to save the best for last, but I'll let Eddie call in for that. He's the best, so I just can't compete with him. Hey, Drew.
It's been a minute since Eddie called in, and Eddie actually texted me earlier today about how fired up he is about Arkansas softball. I got my first Eddie in Clarksville softball text, and they do have, according to Eddie, they have all the ingredients to hog mojo, and most importantly, the hit in the clutch, which I think is a pretty important recipe of mojo.
So he didn't say nothing about the baseball team. I guess he ain't really high on them right now. That's okay. I get it, and I think fans are a little frustrated after this weekend, but I was gonna get tired this morning, Drew, even though I kind of lost you there when I got in between. Even if I know you said I might not have been able to get on, but that's okay. I was going to get him this morning talking about benching Jackson Wiggins. Now, I wasn't going to jump him. I was just going to say, I mean, man, come on. You can't just bench a guy after a bad game or two. And you say, let's just throw another guy in there as the third starter like we have that answer. That was going to be what I was going to say. I was going to get Tommy, too. Wasn't Tommy the one who said if you can't bunch, you can't hit or something like that? And I love Tommy. He's great. But anyway, I don't agree with that because, like you guys mentioned yesterday, about 95% of MLB baseball players can't bunt anyway. So I guess we just need to fire all in. So
Charlie,
anyway,
let me jump in a little bit on Jackson. There's a natural progression that pitchers undergo when they're pitching at Arkansas, and I think in most other college programs too. You're not the finished product even when you leave school. And it's an inconsistent. There's a general inconsistency sometimes to pitchers before they figure things out. Like Connor Nolan figured things out right now. It's obvious when you watch him pitch. He's incredibly consistent. He comes ready to go in the first inning. Doesn't need much time to get going. And when there's a bump in the road like there was on Friday, he finds a decent way to minimize the damage. Although he did walk a runner home, he ended up leaving bases loaded. Things could have been a lot worse, and then he ends up setting like 9 of the next 10 down. Connor had his rough patches that first year as a freshman, and I know Jackson is a sophomore, but this is his first year on a week-by-week basis being a starting pitcher. And the other aspect is, too, like Connor as a freshman didn't have the kind of stuff that Jackson has. I think it's incredibly difficult for us to realize how impossible it can feel to try to so-called, in a very simple way, throw strikes when you throw 95 to 97 miles per hour and you're facing hitters who have bad intentions. It just isn't quite that simple. And I remember seeing Blaine Knight have a couple of starts his freshman year, even his sophomore year, just get his brains beat in. And the same with Isaiah Campbell. It happened in a game against a good team on the road. The thing that you got to see is that he bounces back and gives you at least a decent performance against Ole Miss. Because you can't have a guy coming out in the game in the first 3 innings as a starter on a routine basis. And it's not been an issue for Jackson most of the year, but he's got to get into the 4th, 5th inning at the very least against Ole Miss.
Is he a true freshman? I got that right.
No, he's a sophomore. And last year there were, year I feel like they were looking at him the way that they view Brady Tigert, because initially Jackson Wiggins was going to get a look at closer before we realized Kevin Kopps wasn't setting people up. Kevin was setting up for himself. They looked at him as a closer. They looked at him as a starter. Looked at him as middle relief. So that's what they're looking at with Tigert. He's going to be a starter moving forward. I'm going to tell you this: there will be a start either in the postseason or near the end of the regular season where Jackson goes out and absolutely shoves it down a team's throat. His stuff is that good
100%
that
agree.
Even if he just figures it out 50% more than he did this last game, he'll have success against somebody. But there's also going to go along with probably another bump in the road for him. That's just how it is as a sophomore starting pitcher sometimes.
I think, and that was going to be my point with Ty this morning. I was just going to say, younger pitchers, especially here, we've seen it, tend to have some adversity. That's also adversity is a part of whatever you're doing in life. You may go through some rough stretches, but like you said, how you respond, and I think Jackson will respond. He's had some tough moments this year, but he's also had some really good ones. And like you said, he can throw that ball harder, and it is a little bit harder to control when you're throwing the ball that hard. That's what makes certain guys special. You can throw it 95 to 97 and control it consistently. It's hard. And then you have something breaking or a changeup, too, that you can control as well. So I agree with you, Phil. I think it's part of it. And, it's part of the maturation process. I do want to say one more thing before I go. I'm going to touch on KJ a bit. I know it's a little bit different than one of baseball, obviously, but I think I was looking at a few things on him, and one of the things that I think I really hope he flies under the radar all next year. I hope he's the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken, because I don't want him to get drafted, because I think he can be, by the way, guys. That's just my opinion. But I think he's that talented. But I don't want him to get picked by some crappy team. And, the Bengals weren't an exception.
Are you talking Charlie, are you talking KJ here? Because if KJ Jefferson flies under the radar next season, then Arkansas probably didn't have
it's not a very
year.
good thing.
I don't want KJ Jefferson flying under the radar.
No, I meant from the standpoint of KJ going to the next level. If he's 3rd on some people's boards, everybody's high on Bryce Young and the kid from Ohio State. I think KJ's going to have a great year. I think he's going to throw probably, yards-wise similar, percentage-wise similar. I think he's going to take care of the ball, probably around 25 touchdowns with the way we run the football.
He can't fly under the radar even before the season starts because of the kind of year he had. KJ Jefferson is going to be one of the marquee players in the entire conference going into next year. Yeah, no, the best thing that can happen, because last year there were more doubters than anything else about Jefferson. Many more doubters.
Yep.
He answered the bell on every single question. And now going into 2022, I know he's a long shot, but he's plus 6,000 to win the Heisman Trophy on BUSR.com, one of our sponsors. It's he's got to be on the radar. He's got to be under the spotlight. Yeah. You're a quarterback in the SEC. You've already established yourself, and I think he's going to be. Goodness gracious, with that arm, if he's even a little more accurate with his running ability, he's a guy that's going to go in the first couple of days in the draft, if not maybe the first round.
I think, and that's what I meant, though, Phil. I just don't want him to get picked to a crappy team. If he just dominates next year and win the Heisman and goes number 1, I'm going to feel sorry for him if he winds up with the Jets or somebody. That was my point. I think KJ is going to be great. Anyways, I appreciate it, guys.
It's just an unfortunate thing. Like when you win the Heisman, you're going to go to a crappy team. That's just how
the draft
as a
works.
Quarterback these days. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Then you could be like a Traylon Burks and see so many mocks that have him going to the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, oh, so I get to start my career in the twilight of Aaron Rodgers' career. So yeah, you want to win the Heisman, and certainly it makes you more money when you're at the top of the draft. But yeah, you're playing for potentially a pretty crappy team, and I don't know. Maybe you'd rather be Traylon Burks catching passes from Aaron Rodgers.
I think ultimately, we as fans and we as sports talking heads think about these things, but I'm pretty sure they just want to get drafted. They just want to play, regardless. I mean, yeah, there's probably better situations, but are you going to be really that upset if you get drafted 2 picks ahead of, an actual contender, but you're making more money? No, you're still getting to play at the next level. So I think we as fans and people from the sidelines look into it more than what it actually is. Because most athletes have the mindset of believing that they're the guy, that they're the piece that is standing in the way of success and failure for their new franchise. So they feel like they can turn it around. So I don't think they're that upset most of the time. And plus, the higher you go, the bigger paycheck. So you definitely ain't complaining about that one.
Well, let's just look at the quarterbacks in the AFC North. You've got Lamar, who, MVP, I don't know, maybe reached a little bit of a ceiling. I don't know. You got Burrow. You got Burrow, who has already made it to the Super Bowl and is becoming kind of, not on the face of the NFL, but he's sort of standing in the background of it. And then there's Baker Mayfield, who's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
You don't even need to say anything else after what's gone on with him in the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, you got Mason Rudolph, right? You got Mason Rudolph for Pittsburgh. So.
Notice I did not.
I noticed you didn't.
I did not mention the black and gold.
I had 2 for you.
The more I think about it, the more I feel like they're gonna go after a quarterback too. If Malik Willis falls to them, they'll probably. It feels like they might pick him because I don't know. Mitch Trubisky, 2nd overall pick though, right?
Yeah, I mean that's something.
Just didn't really. Yeah,
is he still going to be called Mitchell though? Didn't remember when he got into the league? He was Mitch Trubisky at North Carolina, and they made a big deal that he wanted to be called Mitchell when he got to Chicago. Bro, you ain't good enough to demand what we call you. If I want to call you Mitch the Bleep, I think I can. You do some rhyming. You know what I'm talking about.
A player with the Travelers, there were a couple of them, their moms made sure that we called them by the full name.
Oh, gosh.
Like Nathan was not Nate, and Jonathan was not John. So we got emails from Mom about that. And
I named my son Nathaniel for a reason.
Then her son is called this.
That's fine if Mama gets what Mama wants.
You're darn right, Mama gets what she wants. Mama might want good odds on Major League Baseball and on the Heisman Trophy and on the National Championship. You'll find the Razorbacks. You'll find KJ Jefferson on both of those lists at BUSR.com. All the odds. Plus, they got a sports book, a race book, and a live casino. You can even play blackjack at BUSR.com. And ESPN Arkansas listeners qualify for an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. Put in $100, you get $100 from BUSR added to your account. It's that simple. Use BUSR.com/morningrush for the 100% deposit bonus. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR. And text or call halftime at 877-377-6963. We'll come right back.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between to fulfill his dreams. Hebrews 7:25 says, Jesus is able to save completely those who draw near to God through him. Don't trust your spiritual strut or placing your butt in a church pew or bar stool, because all three will lie to you. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Jason Aldean says there's only two means of salvation around here that seem to work: whiskey or the Bible, shot glass or revival. He doesn't want to be stuck in these two ruts. He needs something in between.
Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yes, baby.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Scott in Cave Springs texted in a legitimate question here about the draft, and I'm sure the Browns won't be looking for a quarterback in the draft now that they have Deshaun Watson. But he asked, how many quarterbacks did the Browns ruin that might still be in the league if they gotten drafted elsewhere? Some of this is, you also don't, you're never quite sure. Like, you blame it on the team, but maybe the player just really wasn't that good anyway.
Yeah, but when you've had like 30 different starting quarterbacks in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
or
and
less.
The Jets are like the same thing. the same things happen to the Jets. Though Pennington has been Pennington was the best quarterback that they drafted.
And that's sad to say.
He was just kind of okay.
Because I don't think anybody.
Let's see,
No, and that was right. Is like when I was a kid, like really getting into the NFL, and out of every NFL quarterback on rosters, then that would have been the one. I'd have never seen Chad Pennington and gone, "Wow, it's Chad Pennington!" Like so cool. Yeah. Like as like a 7-8-year-old. No, I'd have been like.
Best thing you could say about Chad Pennington was, he's mostly accurate. About it.
He's okay.
About it. He was okay.
It's not terrible.
Browns, let's see, the list that I sent to Scott, and if I'm forgetting anybody, please remind me. Johnny Manziel, who might have been a screw-up anyway. Baker
probably.
Mayfield. Mayfield had some moments a couple years ago. It'll be interesting this next year, depending on where it is he goes and if he has a chance to play, because the shoulder injury.
Is that the Browns? Is that the Browns or is that him, though? I mean, because with the shoulder injury, I want to know how much of it was the Browns forcing him to play or how much he was refusing to give up his starting job. Because it feels like it was a even decision between the two. That I think both of them are to blame.
Either way, he was better healthy than he was with one working shoulder. I think most people could say that. So I mean, the jury's still out on Baker Mayfield, but the Browns already have made their decision. Tim Couch would be another one. I mean, Couch set all those records at Kentucky with Mike Leach as the head coach and did virtually nothing in the NFL. Brady Quinn. I remember watching
Brady Quinn at Notre Dame. He was great.
Yeah, he was great at Notre Dame. And he's okay on TV on the Fox Big Noon Kickoff. Wasn't very good in the NFL.
Decent on radio too.
Brandon Weeden was another one, and again, I don't know if the Browns ruined him or whether Weeden just was not really that good anyway.
Oklahoma State, Brandon Weeden. Am I got that right?
I don't even remember where it was.
I'm gonna look it up.
Anyway, so
there's probably a heck of a lot more.
Well, I mean, how many quarterbacks are even going to go in the first round this year? 3 tops? I mean, Kenny Pickett's going to be a first-round pick. Malik Willis will probably be a first-round pick. Who else is a surefire first-round pick now? Matt Corral? Would you say Corral is a surefire first-round pick?
I don't think so, especially after the injury that he suffered in the bowl game. And they really aren't. I think that this is going to be a draft of unforgettable quarterbacks. This isn't going to be, one of these legendary years that we talk about or even just, decent years. I think this is going to be a year where no quarterbacks really emerge because while Malik Willis seems to have the most upside, you hear most of the draft experts talk about, if you're drafting for the future, if you're drafting a guy that could potentially become a superstar, potentially become an all-star Pro Bowler in this league, it would be Malik Willis. And then they talk about, well, if you need a Band-Aid guy, if you need somebody to come in now, you probably need to go with the Kenny Pickett's, somebody who's older. I think Kenny Pickett's is 24, maybe even closer to 25 at this point. And, can be that kind of Band-Aid until you get another quarterback in the draft in next year or the year after that. And then it's just a bunch of question mark type of guys. So I honestly don't think you're going to get a guy in 3-4 years that's going to be a starter in this league. I just don't see it.
Well, I think Matt Corral, I don't think that he's going to hold up in the NFL. I think that he's an injury waiting to happen. Willis is a tank, and it's a risk taking him because or any of these quarterbacks finished products or anything, but he looks the part. He's got the arm that you need for any kind of deep ball in the NFL. He can run, but he's a project, and he's somebody that would have to sit immediately, and that's why I think he would be. The more I think about it, the more it feels like he's a good pick for Pittsburgh because you don't trust any of the 2 quarterbacks they've got right now to be more than a stopgap.
Yeah, but I mean, how more of a stopgap or better is he than a Mason Rudolph? I mean, I think Mason can be decent. I mean, when you go back a couple years ago, he still led them to a 500 record, which was probably the worst Steelers team in recent history.
But that was a defense-oriented, team that was winning games without him really doing all that much.
Still got to score some points.
Yeah, they got to score something, but I don't know. I think Rudolph didn't really look like any sort of a dynamic kind of a quarterback. He's just he would be the kind of don't go lose us this game kind of a quarterback. And you can't, that doesn't necessarily work anymore in the NFL. You got to have quarterbacks that go out and win you ball games. Malik Willis might not be that right now, but nobody really thought Ben Roethlisberger was that, necessarily immediately. I mean, this is someone that came out of the MAC. There are questions about the kind of competition he played against. Maybe you could say the same thing about Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
And they like the big kind of quarterback that can get out and run a little bit and extend the play. But he won't be playing this next year. No matter where Willis gets drafted, he's not going to be on the field.
No, nor should he be.
He'll be. The helmet will be off. He'll be clipboarding, and he'll be learning while watching somebody else. All right, well, we're going to take the break, and we are joined by Courtney Deifel, Arkansas head softball coach, to talk about the hottest team in the SEC and potentially the hottest program right now on campus. So stay with us on Halftime.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Racing fans, the road to the roses has started. Where are you going to bet? BUSR, of course. Win, place, show, you name it, they got it. You can even place future wagers on the Kentucky Derby today and lock in fantastic odds. Besides horses, you can bet on sports and play over 300 casino games at BUSR. Sign up today and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. Go to BUSR.com/morningrush. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see. At Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale, with its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super room lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by WT Equipment in Springdale today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, always online at randallford.com. Rocky, some of the misnomers about the car industry is that when you walk into a dealership, you're going to be walking out with a $700-800 payment, but you guys have several vehicles on the lot right now that are $400 a month or less.
That's exactly right. Cars are expensive today, but like you said, I mean, I've got 20, 30 plus units out here that with approved credit, I mean, you can get sub $400, maybe even some sub $300 a month car payments and get down the road in a reliable car.
And interest rates are pretty cheap right now, so the time to buy a car is right now.
That's exactly right. Rates are at an all-time low right now, so come by, check out our inventory, and see what we can do for you guys.
Fords, cars, trucks, SUVs, you name it, you're going to find it. Stop by and see Rocky today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, always online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And a song about a California city, where we bring on a California native who has become beloved in the state of Arkansas here. Arkansas head softball coach Courtney Deifel joining halftime. Head coach of the hottest team in SEC softball and maybe even on the entire campus at Arkansas right now. Coach Deifel, we appreciate your time, especially on a game day. You got UCA today. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on today. Exciting time.
Absolutely.
Exciting time of the year.
It sure is, yeah, because you're looking at the postseason here in like 3 weeks, but you can't look that far ahead because, you know, I'm imagining with the way that your team has played, and they've gathered just so much momentum of late. I think it's 13 wins in the last 14 games. So, I mean, they've stayed focused on what's right in front of them, and I mean, you can't look ahead when you're traveling to Florida and you come out there with a sweep. I mean, that's a historic weekend for this program.
Yeah, it's just really, really exciting. You know, there's a lot of attention, I guess, going into the weekend that we had lost the last 30 to Florida. And our, you know, the thing about our players is they're just so businesslike in their approach of the game. And we actually hadn't played Florida in a few years. And so this team didn't care that we, 4 years ago we lost to them, or 5 years. So they just went in there to take care of business. And the nice thing is that's what they do with every game. So we have a big one tonight. It's the one we're focusing on solely. And these players know how important it is.
Well, and UCA has played you guys tough every time you've played them, including earlier this year. I think it was a 6-4 win, and that's a good team that UCA brings up here today. What makes UCA a good in-state opponent? Because Arkansas baseball is playing UCA today. They've crushed them every time they've played them. What makes their softball team so tough?
Yeah, we always have really big battles with UCA, and it always feels like there's a little bit more on the line when you play the in-state game, which is really fun. That's just being able to do that the last couple of years. But they're just a really feisty team. They just find ways, and they grind and they battle, and they're really well coached, and they come in targeting us, and so we know we're going to need to be our best. It's kind of funny how the schedules worked out. I think baseball plays them. We've happened to our schedules fell on playing them the same day, coincidentally, but it's always a big game for us against UCA, and our players know they have to bring their best.
Yeah, UCA does normally have a good program out there in Conway. And Coach, what you've been able to do over the past few years has been outstanding, hosting the Super Regional last year, being a top 5 team this year. And I love the fact that Arkansas and softball in general is starting to get the respect that it deserves. Before I moved here, I was actually the softball SID at the University of Memphis last year. So as being around a softball program, I saw how hard those athletes truly work, and it always felt so kind of bad that they never got the true support that they deserved, like so many other great athletes on campus. But you're getting to see the support from the Razorback fans this year showing up and coming into Groves. What has that truly meant to you and your players for them to get the support from Razorback Nation that they deserve?
Well, it's incredible. I first have to say just what a cool connection that you worked in softball, and so you understand what an awesome
Yes,
sport
I do.
it is, and so that's really, really cool. But our fan base has been tremendous, and they've grown as we've grown, and we knew that when we got here. We set out to win them over because we knew that they were here, and we knew that they would connect with us if they gave us a chance. And so each year we set out to win them over again and give them a product that they'd be proud of. Our fan base and our alums and our department and our state, because it really is just a special place. And, I hope they're proud of our softball program. I think we're playing at an elite level. We're playing the right way. And our fan base definitely adds to that. I'm not sure that there's a better college softball atmosphere than when Bogle is packed and they're calling the Hogs with us.
I'm sure. And it feels like what you've done, not just with recruiting, but getting key transfer girls into this program has been outstanding. What's it like, going up against recruiting battles, especially when you are pretty close to the powerhouse of college softball, going up against programs like Oklahoma, which I think now you can say that Arkansas is getting to that level?
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting into that conversation more and more, and we win some of those battles, we lose some of those battles, but we found that, when we win those battles, it's because we found the right fit. And we believe we're finding the right players to continue to move this thing forward and just have just as much pride in being a Razorback as we have in adding them to our family here. So I know I just said this, it's a special place. And so when we're playing great softball and they get to come here and see Fayetteville and the department's commitment to athletes for men and women, it's a sell that's really fun to make. So I think that obviously our recruiting just keeps getting better, and they these athletes see this as a place they can come and thrive and have the support they need to be at the best. So we're in a really lucky spot.
Coach, I feel you used the word family there to describe the atmosphere around your team, and a lot of coaches say that, but it sometimes it doesn't really it doesn't play out that way. I think it's pretty obvious in the way that your players interact that they do feel like they're family, and that's even to the transfers that have come in from other programs. I watched the little vignette on the Razorback website about KB and about Taylor Ellsworth and all the hugging that goes on with your team and in the dugout and all of that. I mean, they like to touch each other, and they're very open about this. And Mike Neighbors' team is the same way. I mean, he wants them pulling each other up, hands around their arm, around their necks and arms around their necks when they're in the huddles and everything. And there's a family atmosphere that goes along with touching and hugging your teammates. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, absolutely. We embrace that here, and we love each other. We love each other, and we support each other, and we tell each other that, and we show each other that, more importantly. And to us, when we say we're a family, it doesn't mean that it's rainbows and sunshine all the time. It means that we love each other through the good and the bad. And so I think that's the most important piece. And the fact that they really do feel like they come here, we embrace them for who they are, and they join our family. They know my family. They know our assistant's family. They know our grounds guys' family, and it's just so important to us of having all of those pieces be so prominent in their lives. So yeah, I mean that's who we are more than anything. So I'm glad that people can feel that genuinely.
Okay, so I'll put you on the spot then for Sunday. Senior day after the 10:30 game. They're going to hold the ceremony after the game against South Carolina on Sunday. There's I counted 10 seniors. Along with the transfers that have come in, like, will everybody be able to hold it together? Because I mean, these are some of these players you've had for like 5 years. I mean,
I know. it's hard to imagine this program without some of these super seniors, because they've been such prominent fixtures in our program and this build that we've had. But I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of glad the schedule's forcing us to do it after the game.
Yeah.
Because it's, one, we can actually give them the time that I think that they greatly deserve, but that we don't have to hold it together quite as much, and we don't have to compete right on the backside. So there's definitely going to be some emotions on Sunday as we get to celebrate some just really incredible women for our program. So I hope people can make it out to celebrate them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, Coach. And that's one great reason to celebrate. Another great reason to celebrate around this Arkansas softball program. Not only did y'all today become the first team sport to get a team-wide NIL deal, but you became the first team in all of D1 softball. How important is that, and how huge is this for your players and for your program to get this, to take advantage of NIL and to get this tremendous deal?
I can't say enough how much the support from the Everett Automotive Group means to this group, and just seeing something in this program and these athletes. It's groundbreaking for us, and it's so cool to be the first, and I hope that there's many more to follow. I hope this kind of sets the tone for companies wanting to support female athletes and female teams, because they're incredible ambassadors for our university, our department, our state, our community, all of that. So it's just really, really cool. It was really neat to hear their why, of not just like wanting to support Razorback athletics, but wanting to give female athletes a bigger platform and more coverage, because they genuinely felt like they deserve it. And we need more people and more companies that see it that way, because it really, really is exciting, and these female athletes deserve it, absolutely. So it's a really exciting day to get to announce that.
Coach, I want to ask you about a question about the state of softball, youth softball in the state of Arkansas. There's 6 players on your team that are Arkansas native, and that's close to the number of players that you have that are from California. You kind of have to cast a wide net. I felt like the level of high school baseball in Arkansas has elevated along with the level of the baseball program. Do you see the same thing happening with softball as your program continues to get better and better and draws more young ladies that are interested in your program and watching them and being fans?
Yeah, I definitely see the growth and the level of softball. And fast pitch softball was late to the state of Arkansas. They played slow pitch for a really long time, which I don't think a lot of people realize, is that they were late to the fast pitch game, and so they're just kind of playing catch up. And just the growth that we've seen in our time here, and especially in the last 3 or 4 years, where the sport has taken off, and I think we've elevated the level of play that they get to see. So I hope that we have had a hand in that. But it's just really exciting. The sport has so much. It's such a fun sport, and then there's so much opportunity in this sport. So it's been incredible to see how it's grown in the state, and then just the support of the younger female athletes that watch our players and want to be them. And our players make tremendous role models. So if that's continuing to drive them in the sport, then I'm really proud of that. But yeah, absolutely, it's grown tremendously in the last few years.
Well, it's got to be just a ton of fun for fans and for your coaching staff and for everybody there to just sit back and watch some of your players hit. Fourth in the nation in batting average, 2nd in the nation in on-base percentage, 5th in slugging, 6th in home runs. And it's like 6 or 7 different hitters. You've got a monster of a lineup here.
Yeah, there's really no breaking it. It's really fun. I know for me, I do the pitching, so I'm really glad that we don't have to pitch to them. But they have just put together such a special year. But they're just so talented, and they just feed off of each other. And I think our staff does a tremendous job in preparing them and training and developing them. So, yeah, it's been really fun. It's fun to get to watch them. It's fun for them to just watch their confidence grow in themselves and each other. And they just honestly are just so, just into each other's success and celebrating each other that it's just a really, really fun dynamic.
Cool. All right, last thing, and I want to maybe like transport you to when you were starting your coaching career. And you come from a coaching family. I mean, your sister's a head coach in softball in Missouri St. Louis. Your dad's a head coach in JUCO in Fresno. But there's, there Rachel Balkovec is a manager in the minor leagues in the Yankees system. Alyssa Nacken just became the first female base coach in the major leagues, and there's jobs that have opened up for women in Major League Baseball. If this would have been an option for you when you started your career to be a baseball coach, do you think that might have been an avenue you would have taken, or was it softball all the way?
Oh, that's a really good question. I've never been asked that before. I'm going to kind of take it in another direction because I think that if there were more opportunities for softball players, I would have played professionally. Like one of those where if I was male, I'd probably be a millionaire, my sister and some of the players I played with. But, I will say that there are some really strong females that have opened a ton of doors, and I think that it's an exciting time that the male side of things are more open to that, but these females are breaking ceilings for us and just making it see that it's possible. So I don't know. Maybe I would go that route because obviously I've seen, my dad take that. And I think those sports are really, really exciting, but I'm just incredibly proud of the women that have set that standard.
Yeah, well, don't leave Arkansas anytime soon. I'm not trying to chase you out. You just stay here, please, and keep winning because we love it, and we appreciate you joining us today. Thanks so much for your time.
Well, thank you so much. We love it here, and we're just really proud to be a Hog. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, Coach.
We appreciate that so much. Courtney Deifel, head coach, Arkansas softball. They'll be in action tonight, 6 o'clock against UCA and Bogle. And then this weekend, you've got a big series at home against South Carolina. Senior Day is 10:30 in the morning on Sunday. It's because Carolina, I think, has a commercial
getaway
flight.
day, yeah.
It's a getaway day, so the Senior Day ceremonies will be after the game is over. Put a little pressure to win that game, right? A little more than usual.
Just a bit.
Yeah, that's right. We had Senior Day ceremonies for Amber Ramirez, and that was after a really tough loss against Kentucky. And, I mean, you celebrate someone's career no matter what, and you still had great moments from it, but that was they didn't plan it to go in that direction. So, anyway, we'll wrap up halftime after this.
Who's ready to spring clean and save some green? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I'm on a mission to help you cash in when you clean out your garage. So stop making payments on a car you're not happy with, because right now you could clean up in a Rath Road Ready vehicle, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and possibly lower your monthly payment in the process. It's out with the old and in with the new, only during my Spring Clean and Save Some Green sales event. So dust off that old ride and trade up when you bring it in today, and possibly lower your monthly payment in the process. Keeping the car you have? Keep it running this spring with a free inspection, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. But hurry, this deal's done once 86 people make a clean getaway in a nicer, newer car. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Looking for something a bit lighter for lunch or dinner? Art's Barbecue and Burgers has added blackened or grilled tilapia to the menu with all of your favorite sides. If catfish is what pleases your palate, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's Barbecue. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has it all for your lighter lunch or dinner or your weekend pig out. And don't forget $1 off all burgers every Saturday. Call 452-2550 for to-go orders. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Extended. Breeden RV's tax time sale has extended until April 30th. That's right. We will pay up to $1,000 of your state sales tax on all new inventory from now until the end of April, and you will still get to take advantage of discounts up to $20,000 off new travel trailers and up to $30,000 off new fifth wheels. All come with Breeden RV's exclusive maintenance for life at no extra charge. We also want to buy your used RV, so come see us today at Breeden RV in Van Buren or BreedenRVs.com. While supplies last, see dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, Drew, I don't know where you find some of this stuff, but we've found a college baseball team that is now being investigated by a police department in Kansas for potentially, allegedly, lacing their opponent's water cooler with paint thinner. I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean,
now, I've had some. Usually, usually there's a jug of water and there's a jug of Gatorade or Powerade, or it's always got so much more of the powder in it than they need. Some of that stuff is just disgusting.
It is.
So I never want to drink the purple stuff that's in the Razorback dugout. I just got to go with the water. There's sometimes I've felt like, man, this Powerade tastes wrong. Like, this is not right. This tastes poisonous. I was always joking whenever I would say it, and apparently this is actually happened. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, I have no idea what's wrong with apparently Bethany University for trying to poison their rival Kansas Wesleyan. There's both NAIA programs, and the fact that and for those that are wondering of how would Bethany been able to do that, well, at NAIA programs, you don't have all the funding that you do at Division I, especially SEC Division I. So sometimes you can't pack everything. So it's kind of tradition and well known for the home team to provide water for their opponent, as you know,
it's one of the building blocks of life.
Yes,
it's one of the building blocks of life. Without water, you can't live. So you would assume that your opponent would at least give you water
drinkable
that's not
water
going to poison you. Yes.
And I don't know if there was a mistake. Somebody accidentally knocked it over, thought they cleaned it out well enough. Just obviously didn't, because I mean, if you Google this, it's not just, on Twitter. I mean, you can get this from the Wichita Eagle is the source that I pulled it from, which is obviously the official newspaper there in Wichita, Kansas. Like, you look at the picture, yeah, there's stuff in there. Like, it is absolutely disgusting. And I don't know which bright idiot thought it'd be funny or thought it was a joke to try to make them sick, since they are apparently big rivals. But that's poisoning. That stuff can kill you. You drink enough of it, that's going to do a real number on you. So I hope that the investigation leads to something. You read the article, the police aren't really, hopeful that it's going to, just due to the fact of how many different people could have came in contact with the water jug, how many different people you have to talk to. Unless somebody flat out admits it, we may never know exactly how or why it ended up there. But man, talk about taking a rivalry to a whole new level.
I've never heard of anything like this before, Drew. I mean, it's scary when you think about it, because somebody could legit. I mean, you do not just get poisoned from that. You could get killed. You could get killed.
And you're out there as an athlete. You're just trusting that what's in the Gatorade cooler is either Gatorade or very drinkable water. And I use drinkable water, kind of with a low standard, because we've all been there where you play on smaller,
straight out of the
fields.
hose,
You taste the hose, exactly.
You know the flavor of the hose.
Of
there's
course,
a specific flavor, that little metallic tinge with a little bit of like a rubber feel to it that we all remember from childhood.
Exactly.
It's still okay to drink from the hose, just not if it's leaching paint thinner out of it.
That's exactly what I was getting at. I don't need you to put Voss water in it, but at least make sure it's not going to kill me.
Is Voss your favorite?
No, it's just the most fancy one that I can think of.
Fiji's my favorite. That's like drinking a velvet robe. What is this, velvet?
I don't drink any the Voss, Fiji's, or Smart Water. Just give me Ozark or Dasani, and I'll be fine. Actually, just give me from the tap. I'm good.
Hey, real quick before we let you go, I want to ask if your vehicle got damaged in recent storms with hail damage. The people at Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair are there to help you every day, all day, every week, every month, and every year. So long gone from now, there are going to be people you might be setting up temporarily, can fix your car with PDR, get it all worked for you. Littleton's, they're right there for you in your community, locally owned, a name that you can trust. Don't let your insurance company tell you where you're going. It's your car, and so you're going to go to Littleton's Paint Dent Repair. Stay local, stay with the best, stay with the name you know, Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. And we've made it to the end of halftime. So tomorrow is the usual Wednesday with Clay Henry and Bill King, and then we get into the NFL draft heavy on Thursday. So we'll see you later on. 6 o'clock will be a 5:30 airtime on our stations, except for KAKS and Springdale. Of course, they'll have Ruskin and Zach for their entire 3-hour program. So for Maddie and for Drew, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and don't drink the paint thinner water. Get up, get out, get better.